Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to practice how to set up a basic table and create a run chart using MS Excel. This is a component of the Everybody Can Do Quality Improvement, a QI handbook for healthcare providers written by Dr. Ngozi Ogu. Most people are familiar with MS Excel spreadsheet. If you need a little help, I have some useful guide here to assist you as you navigate the Excel Office tool. Let us refer back to the example in the handbook. The project leader has collected some useful data for her QI project, as shown in a table format to my left. We would use the data to create a run chart as shown on my right. Let's get right into it. We are going to open a new workbook, and you can do this in two ways. By going to the File tab, click New and select a blank workbook. Or, if you already have a worksheet open, you can click on the plus sign at the bottom and open a new worksheet. We will use the first row for the main title of the project and use the second row to enter the various variables or measures which our project will collect over the course of time. For example, the main title for the project we are looking at is SBAR Adoption by GP. To move to the next row, click Enter, or you can use the arrow key on the keyboard. Complete the variables and measures by typing into cells A2. Use the Tab key to move to adjacent cell, or simply use the arrow key as well. At this stage, your heading and subheadings are completed, but they are very clustered together, and you cannot fully read all the contents in each cell. You can expand the cells by clicking in between the columns where you have the column alphabet, and that will expand the cells to fit its contents. One final thing about the title. Most users like it centralized. I'll show you how to do this. Select the cell where you typed your title. Left click and hover over the adjacent cells, as many as you'd like the title whether to include. This should highlight these cells for you. Then click the Merge and Center tab and you'll get a nice centered title. You can adjust the fonts and play around word characters as well. Let's go over to the data for the project. There are simple numeric data, and sometimes you will have data that needs to be derived, like mean and percentages. This project has a combination of these. Let's look at the first row. Week numbers. This should follow an order 1, 2, 3. If you have 50 weeks of data, it could be quite tedious to fill. Excel can help the user here. If you create a pattern of numbers, Excel can finish the rest for you. Here's how. Type into cell A3, click Enter, 2, Enter, 3, and pause. Let's say I want to continue to 25 weeks. Select cell A3, left click, and hover over cells A4 and A5. This should highlight these cells. Hover your cursor at the right lower edge of the highlighted cells. A solid cross should appear. Left click and drag this down the column, and Excel will populate the numbers for you. You can do this for any number pattern 2, 4, 6. Excel will continue to trend along that column if you follow the steps above. Let's complete the other columns with their required data. The other two types of data you are most likely to use in a simple run chart are mean or average and percentages. For example, in this project, two columns that will require this calculation are the percentage of SBAR completed column and the mean column. How do we calculate percentages on Excel? There are several ways. For example, we would like to know what percentage of S-bar was completed per week. In week 1, this will represent 5/8 times 100. Excel can help you do this very simple arithmetic very quickly. Select cell F3. Type in the equal sign. Any arithmetic in Excel starts with an equal sign. Excel is holding that thought for you as you decide which numbers you want to include in your formula. I want, in week 1, 5, which is cell C3, divided, which is the / key, by 8 in cell B3, multiplied, which is the asterisk key, shift 8, by 100. Click enter. Now I'll let you practice on week 2 by repeating this sequence as you have seen above. At this stage, Excel has assumed the user would like to continue this trend down the F column. To confirm this, follow the steps we use to populate the serial week numbers. Here you have it. The whole column has been completed. A few final touches. If you want your percentages to be rounded figures or show fewer decimal places, go to Home tab and you will find Number Formatting section. You can decrease or increase decimal points by using the decimal formatting icons. Use this to adjust to your preference. There are other high-level ways Excel can do arithmetic. I will touch on that later, but let's try and keep it simple. The next arithmetic you will most likely use is the average or mean. In our example, we want to calculate the mean of the percentage of S-bar completed. Quickly now, type anywhere outside your table. Best place to be the end of column F. Excel has stored formulas which you can quickly apply. You can access this by clicking the FX function on the cell description over here. You can either search for it, or if you have used a particular function recently, it should appear in the list of functions recently used. Select average and it will open up the function arguments pop-up screen. Here, Excel asks you to input the cell identification of the range of numbers you want it to return an average of. In our case, we would need cell numbers F3 to F5 separated by a colon sign. Don't worry, you can navigate the worksheet while this pop-up screen is up. Click enter and Excel returns your average into the selected cell. Type in your mean or average value in the G column. By now you should know how to populate a column. The target line is the aim that you are trying to achieve, and for this project it is 85%. Excel is good at arithmetic and formatting columns or cells to meet the user's needs. For example, I know the last 3 columns to my right should be in percentages, so I can format them to return only percentages. Select the columns you would like to format. Go to Home tab, select the Number Formatting section and select the percentage icon. This means that any data I put into these columns, a percentage format will be applied to it. We are nearly at the end now. Now we are ready to create a run chart from this table. There are 4 basic components of a run chart. The x-axis that plots the timeline of the project, the y-axis that plots the process measures or the variables you want to measure, the goal line which plots the target you are aiming for, and then you have annotations. These are the noteworthy interventions or the events in the system. In Excel terms, run chart is called line chart. You can use it when you want to display trends over a time. Let's get right into it. At this stage, you have your basic table ready. Creating the run chart is the simple part. If you select the columns you want to analyze, Excel will recommend various charts to display the data. To select column A, which contains data for week numbers, select cell A2, left click on it, and highlight the range of data you want to include. To select multiple columns, hold Ctrl key down and repeat the earlier step. Click the Insert tab and go to Recommended Charts. This will display a selection of charts that you can use. Select the line chart. You have your run chart displayed. Next, you want to annotate your chart. For example, put in title, signpost where the QIP started, and much more. There are so much more you can do with the data. For example, you can compare number of referrals per week with the time spent during handover. With a run chart, you can begin to draw inferences about your project, and this will help you in planning further action. We will go into this in another video tutorial. I hope you have found this useful. Feel free to leave a feedback and best wishes with your project. Bye for now.